As I told you in the last show, Trump pardoned almost every single one of the January 6th insurrectionists. You know, the terrorists who stormed the Capitol in order to try to stop the peaceful transfer of power to overturn American democracies and throw our votes away. You know those? Yeah, well, they're all pardoned to send a very clear message to us that they can literally do anything. They can literally attempt to overthrow the government, and they will get away with it. They will pardon themselves. They're doing this, of course, to dispirit us, which sort of working, to be honest with you. This is what they pardon, though, folks. Here's the back of the blue, people. They beat cops with American flags. They took their batons away from them. They beat them. They beat them with crutches. They took their own shields. They beat them. They crushed them against doors. Pardoned. All of them fucking pardoned. Pardon this guy. Camp Auschwitz. Remember, he was in Nancy Pelosi's office. Work brings freedom. Literal Nazis. Pardoned all of them, folks. Pardon this guy. Here he is on video beating a cop. There he is. Pulls the cop baton from him. Look, there he's got it. He holds it up. I got it. And then he turns around. He starts beating the cop with it. Yeah. Back to blue. Back to blue. Sending a very clear message. We're white. We can literally get away with beating cops. That's how powerful we are, folks. And the dumbass pro-Trump police union was like, those convicted should serve their full sentences. You're turning your back on the blue. Fuck you, pig. Shut the fuck up, idiot. You voted for this. You supported it. You got him in fucking office. Shut the fuck up. Take that dick you voted for. Piece of fucking shit. Then they ask him, and of course he just dip, dodge, duck, dives. I don't know why they even bother to ask him questions, folks. He never really answers anything, but they're asking him, hey, are you committing the sentences of anyone who assaulted a police officer? Answer, yes, all of them. But here's his answer.
Mr. President, are you commuting the sentences of anyone who assaulted a police officer on January 6th?
Well, we're looking at two police officers, actually, that Washington police officers who went after an illegal, and things happened, and they ended up putting them in jail.
Okay, that was not an answer. So instead of answering the questions, hey, I'm thinking about pardoning two cops who roughed up some guy, so it's okay that I'm pardoning violent cop assaulters because I'm also going to let some other violent cops who assaulted people go. So that balances out, baby. Nope, two things are not connected in any way.
They got 5-year jail sentences. You know the case.
I don't. But
and we're looking at that in order to give them a. We got to give them a break.
Literally had nothing to do with it.
In your actions today for anyone.
Well, it would be a pardon. That would be a pardon. The one I'm talking about would be a pardon.
Here you go, sir.
Should there be punishment for the people who assaulted law enforcement officers that day?
Well, I will say this: they've been in jail for a long time already.
Yeah, they've done enough time. It's okay to assault a cop as long as you do a little time in jail, but you don't have to serve your full sentence. But also back to blue, just nothing they say matter, folks. The fakest people on goddamn earth. And then they ask him again, is it okay to assault a police officer?
Some of the executive orders, you would agree that it's never acceptable to assault a police officer.
Sure.
Right? So then if I can, among those you pardoned, DJ Rodriguez, he drove a stun gun into the neck of a DC police officer who was abducted by the mob that day. He later confessed on video to the FBI and pleaded guilty for his crimes. Why does he deserve a pardon?
Well, I don't know. Was it a pardon? Because we're looking at commutes.
Yes, there was a pardon. You're the one that fucking signed it. He doesn't know. He doesn't give a shit. He didn't look into any of this. He just pardoned all 1,500 of them. He doesn't give a shit what they did. He can't be bothered to educate himself about any of this because he doesn't give a shit.
Looking at pardons. Okay, well, we'll take a look at everything. But I can say this. Murderers today are not even charged.
Okay, that has nothing to do with it. So, because not every murderer is charged with a murder, all crime is legal now. That's what he's saying, folks. You can go assault cops now, according to Trump, because murderers sometimes don't get charged with crimes. Make it make sense.
You have murderers that aren't charged all over. You take a look at what's gone on in Philadelphia. You take a look at what's gone off in...
Anyway, he won't answer any questions. It has nothing to do with anything. So I guess crime is legal now because murderers, folks, they don't charge 100% of the murderers with crimes. Anything goes. And, of course, the right-wing media who claims they love the blue, back the blue. They're tough on crime, law and order people celebrate. Here's Charlie Kirk. Hostage is free. Andrew and Matthew Valentine are no longer in prison. Justice is here. Justice. Yeah, the brothers climbed a media tower and watched the chaos around them unfold before committing multiple assaults. They helped break the police line by shoving a metal barricade into the officers. And Matthew Valentine violently grabbed an officer's neck. They followed that assault by stealing police batons and berating officers. The government's memo contended, yay, they're free, justice, but we love cops. It's just a clear message, folks. They can do anything. Words have no meaning anymore. They own us, and they want to put their dicks in our face and let you know. And hey, I'm with this guy. I was told the January 6ers were Antifa and BLM. Why are you pardoning Antifa and BLM? I was told these are terrorists. No good Trump MAGA person would do this. What? But they're rewriting history, folks. Right before our fucking eyes. We can't let them do it, though. It is going to happen. That's the sad part. They are going to rewrite history. In 5 years, folks, I swear to you, in 5 years, it'll be everybody will believe the FBI is actually the ones who instigated January 6th. The people that actually did January 6th were 100% peaceful protesters. They were just praying. They were quietly praying. And all the shit that was done by the FBI and the government. Wasn't an insurrection at all. That's 100. In fact, they're going to start going after anybody who tried to stop it happening. We're going to get there in a second. But first off, let's not let them forget, folks. MSNBC put a supercut of Republican politicians who at the time called out these criminals for the
Let's go through what happened.
Criminal pieces of shit they were.
I do not think that President Trump should have made that pledge to do pardons. We should let the judicial process proceed.
I don't want to reinforce that defiling the Capitol was okay. I don't want to do anything that would make this more likely in the future. I want to deter people who did on January the 6th, and those who did it, I hope they go to jail and get the book thrown at them because they deserve it.
Americans will always have the freedom of speech and the constitutional right to protest, but violence in any form is absolutely unacceptable. It is anti-American and must be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law.
I saw Capitol Police officers bleeding, bruised, and I saw damage to a certain extent as we were exiting. To call those people patriots is not in my lexicon.
So, Jonathan Lemire, how many...
Spineless week, but it's been memory hold, folks. They never said these things. Who are you going to believe? The current narrative or your own eyes? And they try to ask a few of them about it. Acosta, I hate CNN, folks. I can't stand CNN. CNN needs to go to zero, out of business immediately. But he did a pretty good job of hammering. I'm going to show you several of these videos. Acosta hammering Representative Burchett about pardoning people who assaulted police officers.
Do you agree with President Trump's decision to pardon these violent people and releasing them from jail?
If they were truly violent, no. But do I know that they were? I don't know that.
It was literally there. We've all seen the video. He 100% knows they're violent, so he's trying to play stupid. Who was violent? There was violence? There was no violence. They're literally rewriting. This is 1984 bullshit, where they literally tell you to believe us over your own eyes.
What do you mean you don't know that? We're showing the footage on the air right now. Congressman, you were there that day. There are offenders on January 6th who violently beat police officers. There are offenders who are convicted of seditious conspiracy. That is the truth.
This is a political world, Jim, and I don't remember you all on CNN condemning Joe Biden for commuting the sentences of murderers and child molesters, which he did.
If he did that, what does that have to do with this? That's whataboutism. If Joe Biden commuted 1 million child molesters, does that make it any better for Donald Trump to commute the sentence to pardon cop beaters? What do these things have to do with each other? Nothing, of course. It's just trying to change the subject. So obvious.
did, and you all
Congressman,
refused,
I'm not asking about that. Congressman, we talked about Joe Biden's pardons.
You never do,
Congressman,
Jim.
we did talk about it. We talked about Joe Biden's pardons.
Oh, Jim, you did not. You all read your report from the Democrat National Committee, as you always do,
that
and
is
you attack
absolutely
Americans.
false. Congressman,
no.
Are you going to respond and say whether or not it is right to let these people out of jail?
I don't know if it is or not. I'm not a lawyer, but I'll tell you what isn't right.
You're a congressman. You're a member of Congress. You're an elected official. Take a stand.
They were not given due process. I told you if they crossed the line, they were trespassers. Should they rot in jail for the rest of their lives in a federal penitentiary and never be charged?
Beating police officers.
Literally, none of them were rotting in jail for the rest of their lives without being charged. Just lies. This holy God, we're so cooked.
Tasing police officers.
Jim,
seditious conspiracy.
What you're forgetting to say is the ones that he didn't release. Why did he not release those? There are several that he did. This blanket thing you're all talking about is not a blanket. It's not a blanket pardon. There were several that he didn't for those very same reasons. Why are you not focusing on them?
Congressman, we're talking about the leader of the Oath Keepers, the leader of the Proud Boys. They should be released from prison?
What about the leader of the FBI? What about the FBI agents that were on the ground that were in that mess?
Congressman, the leader of the FBI was not rioting at the Capitol that day and beating up police officers. Whatever happened to Back the Blue? I want to show this.
They don't actually give a shit. There's other videos of this same conversation, but I'm going to move on. The show is getting a little long. I'm running my mouth a little too much. Speed it up, Dusty. And definitely Orwellian shit. That's what I was telling you about, folks.
Speaker Mike Johnson is now calling January 6th a day of peaceful protests and creating a subcommittee to investigate, quote, false narratives around that day. Republican lawmakers now want to host some of the convicted and pardoned rioters at the Capitol. And the Trump administration is discussing some sort of invitation for some of these rioters to possibly go to the White House and meet with the president.
So now that Trump has pardoned them, they got to change the narrative to the fact that this is actually peaceful, completely peaceful. They did. It wasn't insurrection. They're actually heroes for what they did, folks. There was no violence that day whatsoever. And so we're going to do a committee to prove that. And so 100% what they're going to do, folks, is they're going to find probably there was some informants in this crowd because this crowd was full of fucking psychopathic criminals, people in militias, people in, right-wing terrorist cells, basically. And probably some of these people were informants to the FBI because the FBI deals with criminals all over the place trying to make fucking deals for themselves. And so they'll find a few of these people that were informants, not FBI agents, but informants or something. And they'll be like, see, the FBI was there. The FBI caused all this to happen. The Trump supporters were actually peaceful. And then they'll start putting the FBI in jail or some shit. They're totally rewriting history right in front of us. This is about as dystopian as it gets. And yes, House GOP to investigate events of January 6th. And they're not investigating it to find out what they did wrong. They're investigating it, trying to spin things to spread the narrative that no wrong was done, that Trump was justified in pardoning these traitors to the country. And just to show you how insidious this whitewashing is, this rewriting of history, here's Michelle Bachmann.
It was like a prayer meeting on January 6th in D.C. People were preaching the gospel on the streets. It was like a family reunion, the happiest people you would ever see. There was no discontent on the Capitol Hill that day. And so these 1,500 people who've been in jail serving time is far in excess of what murderers and rapists have to serve in jail.
The party demanded that you believe them over your own eyes. You didn't see what you saw. You see what we tell you you saw, and this will work, folks. This is how they did it the last time. In 4 years, this will be what Republicans, they already believe it, of course, but this is what they'll be repeating. They already say this now. I don't know if they believe it yet, but in 4 years, they will believe this. They will hear it so many times. They will be lied to. History will be completely rewritten in their minds, and what actually happened will be memory hold. In fact, here, unbelievably, here is a right-wing influencer podcaster, Stu Peters, having somebody who was one of the traitors at January 6th tried to overthrow our government, who just got pardoned on his show, and then bragging that he got pardoned, bragging that they all got pardoned, and then saying we did an investigation to find out who was actually behind January 6th so we could put those people in jail.
Taken care of in this. This needs to be a full sweeping, all out. We're pardoning this. No, these are patriots who just went to Washington, D.C. to petition the government to redress their grievances. I mean, this is one of the most existential rights of the American people. One of the most important things that we have in our power is to be able to petition our government, to voice our concerns. They work for us. And this was a kill box that was set up from day one, and there are foreign fingerprints all over this thing. And I think that we need to get to the bottom of who exactly it was that was responsible for this. You saw Biden on his way out pardoning the entire J6 committee, all of his family, by the way, and rat-faced Tony Fauci on his way out as well. Preemptive pardons, I mean, this is criminal activity. These people need to be exposed. Whoever was behind this and set up January 6th from the beginning needs to be put on trial in the United States, tried for criminal treason, tried for crimes against humanity, tried for a coup, and they need to be convicted. And when they're convicted, they need to face extreme accountability. He can't just let them.
So crazy. He's literally talking to one of the people that did it and saying the people that did it need to be killed. Just reality has no bearing anymore. Words have no fucking meaning. They're going to pardon the people that did it, and they're probably going to find somebody and kill them just for trying to find out who was behind this, who did it. But folks, just let me tell you, before they memory hold this, and they will, hopefully AI or something will be watching this video in the future, just know that that is not what happened. They tried to overthrow the government. I covered it from the very fucking beginning. I actually read the post of them saying what they were going to do, that they were going to storm the Capitol. I said if they did it, I will come live and cover it when they did it, and then I covered it live when they did it, okay? That's what fucking happened, regardless of what the future actually believes happened. This is so scary, though, folks. This is why it's hard to believe what you read in history books sometimes, because history is written by propagandists and the winners